The fire burning red in a Georgia representing if it comes hard here. You know. Big up Kidaki, Buxton massive. Hey Babylon boy, you going like in a like come son. Red.
Never joke, never joke, never joke. Oh, money never, money never, money never, money never, money never, money. Now know what you conniving, money. Money never, money never, money never, money. You can keep your conniving, money. When you've been up for a bum, you haven't tell me money. Now because your money done, you come with conniving money. When you had your pocket full, you haven't tell me money. Now because your money done, you hustle for tell me money. Yes, money never, money never, money, money never, money, money. Now know what you conniving money. Neighbor, neighbor, joker. Neighbor, neighbor, joker. Neighbor, neighbor, joker. That's all the money that me walk for. A 2 pound note and a guild of this. A 2 pound note and a guild of this. A 2 pound note and a guild of this. This is all the money that me walk for. I said money, neighbor, money, neighbor, money. Money, neighbor, money. Money, I know what you can have in money. Oh, Joseph.
Guyana and Guyanese, at home and abroad. Tune in to Guyanese Morning Time, hosted by Kadaki Amsterdam, where the sun always shines. Guyanese Morning Time, the people call it Guyanese Morning Time. Rhythm, Guyanese Morning Time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again, Guyanese Morning Time. The people call it Guyanese Morning Time. Rhythm, Guyanese Morning Time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again. We rise up early morning watching Tom's TV, where wisdom and knowledge, yes, it is the key. Exposing corruption over land and sea, where the wicked politician they try to trick me. Guyana is a land for everybody. With 6 races should live in harmony. Is one set of people getting oil money. Is one set of people doing the thievery. Beep, beep, Guyanese morning time. The people calling Guyanese morning time. Rhythm, Guyanese morning time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again, Guyanese morning time. The people calling Guyanese morning time. Rhythm, Guyanese morning time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again. This is a program that you all can see. Sharing your views and your integrity. Like it, comment and share it all around. Pass it to your neighbor, safe and sound. A sad situation going on in this town. The voice of the people is getting trampled down. Out of the mouths of babes and sucklings, which as ordained me to sing. I sing Guyanese morning time. The people calling Guyanese morning time. Rhythm, Guyanese morning time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again, Guyanese morning time. The people calling Guyanese morning time. Rhythm, Guyanese morning time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again, fooling the people. You're promoting evil. Stop lying to the people. You are a part of the cycle. Stop fooling people. You're promoting evil. Stop lying to the people. You are a part of the cycle. I say Guyanese morning time. The people calling Guyanese morning time. Rhythm, Guyanese morning time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again, Guyanese morning time. The people calling Guyanese morning time. Rhythm, Guyanese morning time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again, they got Breakford, Bork and Mark Benchcop. David Hines and Kadaki Amsterdam. Sherrod Duncan, Nigel London. Normal Brown and Gavin Matthews. Big up Paslow, poor people governor. Simona Brooms, Robin Simpson. Hampton Green and Winston Jordan. And yes, we can go right on and on. Guyanese morning time. The people calling Guyanese morning time. Rhythm, Guyanese morning time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again, Guyanese morning time. The people calling Guyanese morning time. Rhythm, Guyanese morning time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again.
The relatives and friends of young Wyndham Bacchus, they deserve justice. The family, the relatives and friends of our in Boston, they deserve justice. The family, the relatives and friends of Peter Headley, they deserve justice.
And so when we say that Guyana is an apartheid state, we have the evidence to show.
Hey fans, it's karaoke and oldies night this and every Thursday at Club Twilight Sideline Dam, Buxton. Dance to the magical songs of yesteryear by popular DJs and Camps Audio. Admission is free. Come out, let's make memories at Club Twilight Sideline Dam, Buxton North.
Comes out your son. You burn the swine when I want you shine. The tree of life, them I want you climb, cause them heart no kind. Comes I say them heart no kind. Buxton Massive, Kidaki, Red Hat.
You can get meat anywhere, but for the best cuts of chicken, beef, pork, mutton, and lots more, check out T&W Harris Butcher Shop located in the East Rimeveld Market Meat section. Call us on 609-7168, 641-4494. Ask for Rastaman. T&W Harris Butcher Shop for the best in fresh cut meats and lots more.
welcome to Politics Thursday evening. Welcome to joining us. We greet you tonight with the news that political prisoner Kidaki Amsterdam has been put on bail. He's out of police custody as we speak. Today he was passed through the courts and was put on $200,000 bail, and he is at home tonight. Welcome to Politics 101. Welcome. It's Thursday evening here in Guyana, a police state. This Guyana under the PPP has chalked up so many descriptions. We know it's an apartheid state. We know it's an emerging fascist state. It is a police state. All of that. Welcome to Politics 101. Please share the link and let everyone know that we are on tonight. We're on tonight. We come tonight with the news that Kidamsi Amsterdam is free. He is free. He was passed through court today and is out on bail. So welcome to Politics 101. Welcome to Politics 101. Good evening to all of you, wherever you're joining us from, whether you're joining us from Guyana, or whether you're joining us from the wider Caribbean, or you're joining us from North America, Europe, South America, or further afield. Welcome to Politics 101. Welcome to Politics 101. It's good to be on again tonight. I know we were on this morning holding the fort for Kidaki, and as you would know from the news circulating on social media, that Kidaki is now out of police custody on bail. Lots has been happening. We still have the situation in Linden, that they're cleaning up that situation there, and the government, of course, is trying to divert attention from the injustices that are being meted out to the people of Guyana, and the neglect of those areas that are considered opposition strongholds. Those areas have been neglected, and what happened in Linden this past week is a direct consequence of that. Well, the Ministry of Education is saying that they're willing to talk, but the teachers must go back to school. The teachers have said, the teachers union, reading a report here today, have said that they are prepared to negotiate from 2022 to 2025. They had said that they wanted to negotiate from 2019. The government has resisted that. Now the GTU seems to be putting a compromise position on the table, 2022 to 2025. We shall see what the government is saying. We understand that the Minister of Education and others are of the view that they should meet the teachers along the way. There should be some compromise. But we understand the big dogs in the PPP. The big dogs in the PPP do not want to budge 1 inch when it comes to the teachers. We also come on here tonight with news that they're targeting Politics 101 and that they are considering charges on the host of Politics 101. We understand that the Attorney General has taken charge of taking care of the social media programs, and they've targeted the WPA, and that they are targeting this show. We understand that they've been combing every show, every Politics 101 show, looking for some statement by a guest that they would be able to use. We heard the vice president today telling the police they're too slow. They're too slow in going after us. So they've given directive, we understand, to the police to go after us. Jack Dio said that the WPA is an extremist organization. He has now labeled us an extremist party and has given the police the go ahead, say they're too slow in dealing with us. And we have gotten word from the inside. We have gotten word from inside of the PPP that Nandalal has given directives to the police to go after Politics 101 and to go after this host. So they are present combing through all the Politics 101 program, looking for something so that they can charge the host of Politics 101. They are on the ropes. They are on the ropes. They are on the ropes. We shall see. We shall see. Good evening to all of you, and welcome to Politics 101. Welcome to all of you, wherever you're joining us from. Wherever you're joining us from, welcome to our program. We come tonight with the news that Kedaki Amsterdam is out this morning. Without notifying his lawyers, without notifying his family, they sneaked him into court. They sneaked him into court. And some Buxtonians happened to be around the court area and saw them sneaking in and were able to call to Buxton to the family and to inform the family. And the case was called. Kedaki appeared before the magistrate. The magistrate asked if he had legal representation. He said yes, he does have legal representation. Nigel Hughes is his lawyer, and the police was asked whether they informed the lawyer that they were passing his client through court. I don't know if they answered, but she stopped the proceedings and asked for a call to be made to the lawyer, and they were able to give Kedaki a phone call to call Mr. Hughes. Mr. Hughes went over and was able to make representation on Kedaki's behalf. They did not want his lawyer to be there because their plan was to ask the court not to grant him bail. In fact, they made the case before the court that he should not be granted bail. The court, however, put him on $200,000 bail. So again, they sneaked him into court without the knowledge of his family, his comrades, or his lawyer. And the plan was to railroad him through court, deny him bail, and to remand him to prison. Luckily, there were some Buxtonians around the area of the court, and they were able to call the family. But even before then, after then, as he appeared before the magistrate asked if he had a lawyer, and he said yes. He named the lawyer, and the magistrate permitted him to call his lawyer. The lawyer was able to get there in time and to make representation on his behalf. The state tried to have the court deny him bail, but the court eventually put him on $200,000 bail. And we were able to lodge the bail, And thank you all again for your contributions to the fund. We were able to use that fund, use the contributions from that fund to lodge bail, $200,000 bail for Kidaki. They asked him to lodge his passport. And so his son had to go all the way up to Buxton to get his passport and to bring it. And his passport is now lodged with the court. And he is to appear to report to the police station once every week, I think. Once every week. Once every week. So that's the situation. He was eventually bailed, his passport was lodged, and he was freed. He's now at home in Buxton. For all of you who have been inquiring during the day, that is what transpired today. And as he was being freed, we got news from inside the government. We got news from inside the government that Anil Nandlal, the Attorney General, has instructed the police to go after the WPA and to close down our shows. The target is now this show and this host. And we are hearing that they have already something that they have sent to the DPP, and waiting on the DPP to give them a go ahead to file charges against this host and perhaps guest. They have been combing through this show looking for something to pin on me and to pin on guests who would have been on the show. That is the news, and we got that from inside the Attorney General's office. The Attorney General's office, that's where it came from. And we are making it public that the Attorney General has instructed the police to go after the WPA and to charge. And the next target is this show and this host. That news has come to us, leaked to us from inside the Attorney General's office, and we are making it public here tonight. We are making it here public tonight. Later on at his press conference, Mr. Jack Dio labeled the WPA as an extremist organization and said the police is moving too slow. Moving too slow. So they've given the police the go-ahead to come after us. So we are making it public. And we got the leaked information from the office of the Attorney General, his chambers. It was leaked by a PPP operative who felt that they're being unfair. And the PPP operative leaked information to us that the Attorney General has given instructions to the police to go after the WPA and to file more charges against Kidaki, Amsterdam, and to find charges to level against me and against others. We understand they are targeting Dion Abrams. And so they have decided that they are going to use the police to harass, to crush the WPA. That's where things are tonight as we come on here. But again, the good news is that Kidaki Amsterdam is now at home. That was not the plan of the government. They sneaked him into court this morning without the knowledge of his lawyer. Without the knowledge of his lawyer. So he went into court unrepresented. And they were trying to get the magistrate to remand him to prison without bail. The magistrate halted the proceedings and permitted Kidaki to call his lawyer. And Mr. Nigel Hughes was able to get to the court in time and to make representation on behalf of Kidaki. They resisted. They asked the court not to give him bail because, as they say, the incident, the charges are prevalent. The charges for cybercrime are prevalent. The magistrate put him on bail, $200,000 bail, the $200,000 bail. We were able to bail him. They held him there while they went to Buxton to get his passport, because his passport had to be lodged at the court. We were able to do that and got him out of the police lockups. And as I said, as we were taking him out of the lockups, we got leaked information from Anil Nandalal's office, the office of the Attorney General, that they have now declared war on the WPA. They've declared war on the WPA, and they are coming after us. The next targets we understand are Dion Abrams and David Hines. These are the next two targets, and they are right now combing over this show to see if they can find anything that they can charge us with. Now, as you know, the call originally, they wanted to charge Kidaki. This a complaint made by Mohammed Kwelanda. That was what they told us on Tuesday. That is why he was arrested. Later on in the night, the police changed that story and said that they were now charging him. They were now charging him with aiding and abetting a caller who called in and made some remarks. Kidaki issued a disclaimer. They released the tape to the public without the disclaimer. Those of you who are on the program this morning saw that we were able to play the entire tape with Kidaki issuing a disclaimer immediately after the caller made his statements. Yet they charge him. Clearly there is no case. Clearly that was not the intention. The intention was to charge him for the Kwelanda statement. But that issue is already before the court in a civil matter. And to have brought a criminal matter would be double jeopardy. So they backpedaled from that. And they had to find something. So they have this ridiculous charge that he aided and abetted a cybercrime with somebody who wants to kill the president, as they say, and members of his cabinet. And that is not that Kidaki made any statement. That a caller called in and Kidaki put a disclaimer, yet they charge him. Vice President Jack Dio said WPA is an extremist organization. An extremist organization. That is what he said today in his press conference. I want to quote him here. I'm looking for the quotation. I'm looking for the quotation in one of the things. In which he has said that we are an extremist organization and that the police is moving too slow. That is what Jack Dio said. The police is moving too slow. And so instructions have been given to the police, to move against the WPA. So that is where things are. He has labeled the WPA what he calls an extremist organization who nobody knows. But yet this organization that nobody knows, they have now given instruction to go after. As we said last night on this program, that we are not surprised at that. We are not surprised at that approach by the government. Word has come to us from inside the Attorney General's office, from inside his cabinet. Somebody, a big PPP person from inside his cabinet, has leaked the information to us that he has instructed the police to bring charges against Dion Abrams and David Hines. and they are trying to get the DPP involved in the situation. So that's where things are at the moment. Kedaki Amsterdam is free, but we understand they intend to bring more charges against him. We understand that a declaration was made by the Attorney General that the WPA must be crushed, that they are going to find ways and means to imprison all of us. That is the latest development. Welcome to all of you who are joining us tonight. The show must go on. We will continue to carry the struggle. We will continue to do what we are doing. We will continue to inform and educate Guyanese people. We will continue to use whatever platform there is at our disposal to expose this government and to let people know that this government itself has declared war against the opposition, in particular, war against African Guyanese. We understand that they are trying to separate the opposition and to divide the opposition and to isolate some of us for prosecution. We shall see. We shall see. Welcome to Politics 101 on Thursday night. We say a special welcome to those who are joining us from Linden. The situation in Linden, we understand, continues. It is still dread there. We understand the government has gone in and they are trying to do some little cleanup now. Why they couldn't do the cleanup before? They went in before they took the big thing there, the big flag raising ceremony, and they, did some little things around without dealing with the problem. Here is Jack Dio today at his press conference. I'm quoting him here. I think the police have to address these matters seriously, not because it is personal, but because if we allow this violent rhetoric to take hold of our society, then it could lead to unintended consequences. And what he did, what Kedaki did, was illegal and seditious. Wow, illegal and seditious. If you look at what he says, he wants to behead the head of state of Guyana. He's accusing Kedaki Amsterdam of saying that he wants to behead the head of state of Guyana. You all heard the tape. You all heard the tape. Yet here is the vice president. Here is the vice president accusing Kedaki Amsterdam of saying that he would behead the head of state. And he went on to say, this is the extremism of the WPA and the failed people who are there. So this party has gone far away from Walter Rodney's vision of Guyana. They are a fringe party. Nobody knows about them. They live on past glories on the Walter Rodney era. And what we have are just racists there, posing as if they're representing African Guyanese. All of that, and the party is a fringe party. Nobody knows us. Nobody knows us. Yes, yet they've given instructions to arrest all of us. This fringe party that nobody knows. This party that has strayed away from Walter Rodney's vision. And here he is, lying. I'm quoting him again. I think the police have to address these matters seriously. He's giving instruction to the police. Not because it is personal, but because if we allow this violent rhetoric to take hold of our society, then it could lead to unintended consequences. And what he did was illegal. He Kedaki Amsterdam and seditious. Wow. If you look at what he says, he wants to behead the head of state. He accused the police of being delinquent and slow. on the matter. So we have the Attorney General and the Vice President giving instructions, giving in broad daylight, giving instructions to the police. This is the police state that we live in. This is the police state that we live in. Who can be more violent in their rhetoric than Bara Jagdeo? Who can be more violent in their rhetoric than Bara Jagdeo? The violence that man has unleashed on Guyanese people over the years. Who can be more violent? Bara Jagdeo presided over a government that killed hundreds of African Guyanese men. Bara Jagdeo presided over the Phantom Squad. The PPP presided over the killing of 3 people in Linden. The PPP presided over the killing of Orin Boston, Peter Hendy. The Henry brothers, Harris Singh, Quindon Bacchus. Who can be more extremist and violent than Jagdeo's PPP? And yet that man has the temerity to sit there and talk about people being extremist and violent. Lying on Kidaki Amsterdam, saying that Kidaki wants to be the head of state. Lying. He can't say he doesn't know what he's talking about. The tape is there in public. Kidaki never uttered a word. And we got the shocking news, as we said, from inside their cabinet, somebody from inside the Attorney General's inner circle, that he has given the go-ahead for them to eliminate the WPA by putting us in jail on trumped-up charges. When he was told that Dr. Hines never uttered any violent words on his program, he gave instructions to find the program and go through all the programs and find something on the program to charge me and to charge Dion Abrams and perhaps our other brothers. The PPP is panicking. They're panicking. And this fringe party, they're now calling extremists and saying that we are saying things that will have unintended consequences. They're trying to muzzle us. They're trying to shut us up. They're trying to hide after the debacle with Congressman Jackson. Congressman Jackson was here for the last week. And he saw and he heard. And he's going to go back to America and tell the American people the PPP is panicking. They're panicking. They thought they could arrest Kidaki and the congressman would know nothing. Because they thought they brought the congressman here and they put some PPP eyes in him, so that he will see with their eyes. But he took away that eye that they were trying to give him and fling it back in their faces. And did his own thing, went to Mocha, walked around Georgetown, spoke to Guyanese, spoke to leaders and spoke to Guyanese citizens, and got the real deal. He took notes. And the PPP is panicking that the world will now know what they've been trying to keep a secret. And so they've decided that they are going to label some of us extremists I don't care what they talk about extremists. If you're extremists for justice, then I have no problem with that, because that is what we are. We are extremists for justice. We are extremists for equality, racial equality. We are extremists for shared governance in this country, where this country is governed by all its people and the representatives of all its people. We are extremists for the equal and equitable distribution of the wealth of Guyana, and that is why we put that extremist proposal on the table, that each family should be given, they should take 1/10 of the oil money and distribute it equally to each family in Guyana, each household in Guyana. We put that extremist proposal on the table. We are extremists for equality and equitable distribution of wealth, Mr. Jagdeo. We are extremists for racial justice. We are extremists for justice for those people, those black boys that you have murdered, your government has murdered. Your government has blood on its hands. You are an extremist leader. Yes, we are extremists for our people. We are extremists for our supporters. We are extremists when it comes to saying no to political murder. Yes, Mr. Jagdeo, we are extremists. We are extremists for justice. We are extremists for fairness. We are extremists. Only today, while I was at the court waiting for Kidaki, forklifts and bulldozers were there. I saw with my own eyes, forklift under the stalls of black women trying to destroy and dismantle their stall. I had to intervene. I had to intervene. And the men, all of them, black men, who were sent to dismantle the stalls of those women. Those women were pleading. I had to intervene. And to get them, to give them a few more hours to get their stands away. Yes, we are extremists for justice. We are extremists for justice for those women. I didn't ask them which party they belong to. I didn't ask them whether they were PPP, PNC, or WPA. I was told what was happening. I left my business at the court with Kidaki and went over there and saw the forklifts under those people's stall ready with all the people sitting inside. And I had to intervene. Yes, I am an extremist when it comes to defending the rights and the dignity of poor people. And if you want to jail me for that, jail me for that. Jail me quickly. You all damn ice-pass people in this country. You all feel that the country is you all. And you all can do what you want. And nobody must say nothing, must say anything. You all believe that you all have some of the politicians in a corner because you scream at them and you expect us to go and hide on the rock. You've declared war on us. You've declared war on the WPA, and we have decided that we are going to stand for them. We are going to stand for them. We are going to stand for them. You've declared war on Kidaki, Amsterdam. For no offense. He has not committed an offense. You have put in words in his mouth. Kidaki Amsterdam never said that he would behead any head of state. Yet you, Mr. Jagdeo, are lying. Here is what you say. I think the police have to address these matters seriously. And what he did, what Kidaki did, was illegal. What the hell Kidaki did that was illegal and seditious? You are a damn liar. You're a damn liar. What he did was illegal and seditious. What the hell he did that was illegal and seditious? You're a liar, big man. You have taken this country down to a low. You're a political thug. That's what you are. And you're a coward. Because you sit behind the defense of the government and the power that you think you have. And think that you can run roughshod. You're a damn coward and you're a thug. A political thug. Jail me quickly. People, you think people voted for you all? Those people who voted for you all, the Indian Guyanese who voted for you all think they voted for you all to jail people and to oppress people? No, they did not. You all have taken their votes. And you all are governing like damn thugs. What manner of men are you? Flooding out the people of Linden. Denying funds, government funds, to the municipality, to the regional government, because they didn't vote for you. Went there and pampered yourself, and then the place is flooded a few days after. And talking about development. Governments are elected to govern, to distribute resources fairly, to do meaningful development. But you all think you all are elected to jail people and to kill people. Damn thugs. You sit there every Thursday with your thuggy self, dressed in a suit and tie. A thug dressed in suit and tie. The worst sight. I wonder what you say to your children when you go home. Your children when you go home. I wonder what you say to them. Your children. What do you say to your children at night? I spent my time today jail in Kidaki, Amsterdam. I spent my time today calling WPA thugs. That's what you're going to tell your nieces and nephews? Because I understand you don't have children. And that's not a curse. That's not a curse if you don't have children. I'm sure you have nieces and nephews. What are you telling them? That I was being a big fuck today? Barrett? I don't get personal with you all. I do not get personal. That's what you all are doing. Putting on your suit and tie every day and going to these government offices, fleecing on the monies of the people of Guyana and using it to oppress your fellow citizens. Good evening to all of you. Good evening to all of you who have just joined us in Politics 101 tonight. I'd like to thank all of you who have contributed to helping us to get Kidaki Amsterdam out of the lockups. They're sneaking into court today, trying to remand him, to send him to jail. Didn't tell his lawyer anything. They gave him $200,000 bail, $200,000 bail. But thanks to the contributions of ordinary people, we were able to post that bail. I would like to thank you, UB, I'd like to thank Roger C. I would like to thank Christabel J. I would like to thank Janice B, Reginald W, Gladys R, Hyacinth J, Robin B, Evadne J, Base C, Brenda B, KB, Jillian J, Paulette G, Lester B, Okolo C, Lancelot T, Montague G, Frederick D, Aubrey P, Hazel J, Donald A, Courtney O, Eunice S. There's some more here. Some more here. Ann K, Lennox J, Tyron P, Reginald H, Patricia B, Howard B, Paula R, Linda C, Cheryl S, Yvonne H, Randy R, Carl F, Natalie A. I think we got most of you there. There are some others that we also have to thank. Some of you we thanked last night. So if you heard your name twice, we would like to thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for contributing to this cause. And we would like to, the information is there on the screen to continue, because we will have to defend ourselves against these political thugs sitting in high places. Would like to thank Yuri, Calvin G, Lynette S, Errol G, Cheryl G, Deborah S, Errol G, Cheryl W, Kurt C, Anissa S, Agre G, Kofi A, Andrew V, Eon F, Lorraine B, Rebecca M, Brentnell M, Priska B, Diane B, Lynette R, Ingrid H, Denise C, Brian W, Rosamond P, Wayne A, Jillian B, Karen B, Novella, Edward S, Karen B. We would like to thank all of you for contributing to our worthy cause. Your contributions are partly responsible for Kedaki being free tonight, because your contributions went towards posting bail for him tonight. It is the highest contribution that one can make to the struggle for those who are standing up for justice, those who are standing up for justice. And you, the ordinary people, are standing with us. We want to thank you so much for that. There's still some others that I have to thank, and I will get to it in short order. Welcome to Politics 101. We're not giving up this struggle. We are continuing the struggle. As we said, we have gotten word from a top PPP person in the inner circle of Anil Nandalal that he has given instructions to the police to exterminate the WPA, first by finding charges under the cybercrime to put against us, and that they are going after Kedaki Amsterdam. They're not done with him I understand, we understand that they are looking for other charges to bring against him. Sandra G, thank you so much. June S, thank you much. Jem T, thank you very much. Denise S, thanks. Thanks, Sharon E. Thank you, Dion V, James B, Hazel L, Gregory D. Thank you all so much. Thank you all so much for your contributions. And they came in on time so that we could meet the bail. And as we are saying, based on what we are hearing, they're coming after us. But we are no strangers to struggle. We are not strangers to struggle. Yes, Wayne is the attorney dunce. That's what they have cooked up. That is what they're using the Guyanese people money to do, to go after us. If we are a no party that nobody knows, how can a no party be extremists? Nobody knows we are nothing. We are nothing. Yet we are extremists. We are appearing as though we are representing African Guyanese. You do not represent African Guyanese. You represent some African Guyanese fools that you have around you. You can never represent African Guyanese, Barajag. You'll never. You're a political thug. You will go down in history as that. A political thug that has taken this country to the depths of nothingness. Every day you lift up your frock, and show your red panty. Lift up your dress and show your red drawers. Like a common prostitute, a political prostitute. That's what you are. And you dare to tell people that they're extremists? What do you know of us? I'm tired of you all bullies and think that all black people are cowards. You all are the cowards. Good evening to all of you and welcome to Politics 101. Welcome to Politics 101. And we're not backing down. We're not backing down. This country belongs to us too. This country belongs to all of us. All of us. But you all think that you all have the patent to everything in this place. Because we've been playing the politics by the book. And we're going to continue to play it by the book, but we're going to play it by our book. Damn, I pass black people in this country. I pass black people. That's what you all think you all can take a black man from America and bring him here and turn him into a common slave. How dare you all? We are making sport. We are making sport. We have no guns. You all have the guns. You all have the guns that you are stockpiling in your homes. You all private armies. And then you all are using the police to come after black people. The word is out. The word is out. The word is out. I'm sleeping with my door open tonight. You all don't have to come and bang it down. Set of damn cowards. That's what you all are. Come in the open space and let's debate. Let's debate policies. Let's debate development. Good evening to all of you and welcome to Politics 101. Kidaki is home for now. Kidaki is home for now. They're planning to take him out again. Yes, my brother, we are against extreme racism. Yes, we are. Yes, we are against extreme racism. We are against extreme police brutality. We are against extreme economic genocide. We are against extreme police killing of people's children. You all are a set of political zombies. Every time you all are in power, all kinds of things are befalling this country. When it's not flooding, it's something else. A set of blights, political blights. We are going to continue to keep our voices open. We are going to continue to keep our voices open. You all want us to always be talking about elections and talking about votes. Yes, we have to talk about elections because it's via elections that we are going to get you all out. So we've got to talk about elections, but we got to talk about proper elections. You all want us to be talking all kinds of nonsense. You all want us to be talking about class. You all take Marxism, Leninism out of you all and socialism out of your constitution. And what you all didn't tell the world is that you all replace them with racism. You all take out Marxism, Leninism and put in racism. That's what you all have done. You all take out socialism and put in anti-black racism in your constitution. Because that's what you all are governing by, a set of political thugs. That's what you all are. You all talk about Burnham. Burnham was a little Sunday school boy. Compare with you all. A little Sunday school boy compare with you all. He had more class. Compare with you. A set of political zombies. Bag your all faces. Those of you who have children, you're all going to go home tonight and tell your all children, we tried to send Kidaki Amsterdam to Camp Street. For the last 2 days, we took away his liberty. That's what you all are going to tell your children. What a shame. And those of you all who don't have children, that's what you all are going to tell your nieces and nephews. What a shame. What a shame. The WPA is a fringe party, yet it's the fringe party that you all want to jail. It's the fringe party you all want to kill. Last night at 4 o'clock, strange cars are parked in front of Kidaki's home. You all are trying to kill that brother. That's what you all are trying to do. To send your baby thugs to kill that brother. That's what you all are, that's how you all are governing this country. You're sitting there as vice president and telling the police how to do their work. The police moving too slow. You are instructing the police what to do and calling yourself democracy and Democrats. You're worse than Hitler, worse than Mussolini, worse than P.K. Botha, worse than all the extremists that we have known. Zatio. That you've brought this country to a low. There's no longer any decent political discourse. Every week you sit down there and you turn our children into cuss birds instead of negotiating with the teachers for better wages and salary. You tell them, forego the exam, just put the children over. You all sit down in your central committee and say the children are black people children, and if black man teacher them on strike, put them black people children over, whether they pass or not. Our children, they're in private schools. Some of the private schools you all own. So sit down there in your central committee and saying, let us strike. And we could put the picnic over without the passing exam. They're dunces. Black people are dunces anyway. That's what you all sit down and say in there and talking about in your cabinet. And you all black people, you all better start getting your act together. You all better start getting your act together. Because ultimately, they're coming for, it's you all they're coming for. They want to get us out of the way so they can push you all back in slavery. And they got some black people, well-to-do middle-class black people, who still behaving as though they're in the colonial era. The struggle goes on. We're not giving it up. We're not giving it up. And I want to thank those people from in the bosom of the PPP who was able to leak that information to us today. There's still some decent ones among you all. And you all are trying to get the DPP involved. To get the DPP to sign off on your nonsense. Put Kidaki Amsterdam with common criminals in a cell so that they can kill him in that cell. That's what you all are doing. I was a political prisoner under Burnham. I was never with common criminals. Was never put with common criminals. They all put Kidaki with common criminals so that they could kill him in that cell. That's your plan. You all are nothing else but cowards. But by the grace of God and the vibes of our ancestors, we're going to keep on going. We're going to keep on going. We're going to keep on going. The word is out. The word is out of your plan. And if those in the PNC believe that by bobbing and weaving they're coming for you all too, the plan is to move us out first and then come for you all. I'd like to thank all of you who have stood with us, who have stood with Brother Kidaki. He's back at home, he's back with his family, and the struggle continues. Thank all.
Morning, neighbor. Morning, are you morning, neighbor? Morning. Look how you look smart and sprightly, as they say. You look bright and shining. Morning, it's another day. It's another Friday. It's the 31st of May. It's the 31st of May in the year 2024. Welcome to the program. I am your host, Kidaki Amsterdam. How are you, Dubai? Well, go on, I talk to me, How are you make out for the last couple of days? Thank you to all those of you who held the fort. It's nice to be back here. It's nice to... It's as if I didn't leave, quite frankly. Because Dr. Hines carried the program, Mark Ben Shop carried the program. Thank you to the brothers. I really love the camaraderie and I love the initiative. the oppressors must know that moving one of us out of the way is not going to solve the problem. It's going to still exist. As a matter of fact, it might become worse for them. Man, and welcome to the program. How have you been? How was your yesterday and the day before and the other day before? How was your Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday? I didn't get to ask y'all. How y'all make out? Were you able to achieve your set goals? Have you been able to make some money? Money makes the world go round. It's not the love of money. It is the love of what money does or what money can do for you that I appreciate. Were you able to rest well? Did you rest and recuperate so that you can take on the new day's struggle? Those are some of the things I want to know. Right? I know y'all anxious to hear from me about me. It's usually a difficult thing for me to talk about me. Y'all know that. But we will talk about me. Right? We will talk about me eventually. But there are lots of things that, we ought to talk about and we must talk about and we will not stop talking about. And I won't allow the PPP to stop me from talking about. I don't like the sheen in the background here. So y'all give me a minute. Let's shut down this. Let's shut this door. Right? Good. So, like Arnold Schwarzenegger, I'm back. Please do us a favor and share the live. I will tell you why just so. Please share the live. Share the live, please, and thanks. If you notice that somebody who is usually on is not on, that might be no fault of theirs. So just send a link to them. Right? Send a link to them. Like I'm saying, if you know somebody who's usually on and you don't see them on, kindly send a link to them because most likely they might be searching for the show. Yes, please do. That's your little bit you can do to start with. Share the show. Just share the show. Share. Call a friend, tell a friend Mr. Amsterdam is on in person this morning. And you know that they're your usual listener. And so you send stuff to them. Good? Also, if you have a relative, friend, acquaintance that hasn't been listening to this program, please share the link with them and encourage them to listen to this program. This has to be the most impactful program when it comes to outing the PPP. Otherwise, I don't know why they are coming at me the way they are coming at me. Right? It has to be the most impactful program. It has to be that Mr. Amsterdam is getting deep down in the valley and pulling out all of the nastiness that this PPP is about. Why else are they expending so much resources with their frivolous charges? Because they are frivolous charges. And they know that they are frivolous charges. But their hope is to try a thing and get through on those frivolous charges. So they don't mind wasting the nation's resources to try a thing. Right? But he who brings me to it will bring me through it and put me on top of it. I have no fear of the PPP. None. I have no fear of Anil Nandlal. I understand he has issued some threats in the media that people are going to go to jail and so on. I'm not intimidated. A coward dies 1,000 deaths. I ain't killing me. Not 1,000 deaths. I'm so firm in my belief that I'm destined to do this. That I don't even believe y'all could kill me one death. So as old people say, do your worst. But anyhow, I don't intend to spend too much time talking about these nymphs. Let us talk about our plans. Let us talk about us. I totally appreciate the care and concern. I must say to all of you, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'm getting emotional. Thank you for the love and support shown. Thank you for the love and support shown to all of you, viewers and supporters of this program. Right, Thinking Guyanese. I don't care if you don't view and support the program, but as long as you recognize the wrongs of the PPP and you're willing to speak out against it, thank you very much. I am truly appreciative of your efforts. I'm getting emotional. Thank you to my children. I know y'all pains. My family, I know y'all pains. But endure. I'll be strong for you. You be strong for me, endure. I know it's a big sacrifice, but that sacrifice is to ensure that you don't have to make it. You don't have to make it. I will fight for you. I will fight for you, my children. I will fight for this nation. I will fight for my people. These tears are not tears of fear. Let no man interpret it as tears of fear. These are not tears of fear. I'm not afraid of the PPP or what they can do. If the PPP can get nasty, I guarantee you, there are many of us who can get nastier, but we don't necessarily have to go where they think that we will go or we have to go to bring changes to this country. Again, my children, you be strong, you stay focused. I'll do the dirty lifting for you because you deserve better in this society. Every child deserves better in this society. And I will fight so that every citizen in this society can get better. I know all of you viewers, I know all of you right thinking Guyanese, relatives and friends, all of you are concerned about arrest because you know what the PPP is capable of. But I say to you this, not for 1 minute was I afraid. Not for 1 minute was I afraid. I speak my truth on this program. I speak my truth wherever I go. And I spoke my truth even in incarceration. And that is because I am willing to fight for this nation, and I'm willing to fight for humanity, and I'm willing to fight for what is right. Understand that. Do not be weakened. Do not allow this wicked and vindictive set of people to tell themselves that by locking me up, even by murdering me, that they will stop you from standing up for what is right. Don't let it be. Do not let it be. They understand quite well that when I come here in the mornings, I teach. They understand the impact of an education. They understand the impact of people being aware of what is happening. And what will they try to do? Remove those who spend their time educating and empowering you. And since Mr. Amsterdam is all present every morning, sometimes noon and night, doing his civic duty, he is a problem for us. Let us remove him out of the picture. I'm sitting here and I'm telling you this. The policemen and women who came to my gate Tuesday morning were sent to my gate because the PPP cannot afford to have Kidaki Amsterdam speaking to you every morning from now till elections. They cannot. They cannot have Kidaki Amsterdam telling you that instead of engaging in protests that they might consider violent and extreme, you can disrupt the norm by just strolling down Regent Street window shopping. They cannot afford for us to go window shopping down Regent Street from now to elections. And so since Mr. Amsterdam believes that he has this bright idea that we could go window shopping down Regent Street, let us remove him out of the picture. Let us drive fear into the people to whom he speaks. Do not, I beg you people, if there is any failure that will take place on my part, it is you allowing yourselves to be intimidated by the PPP, by them removing me from the scene. Do not allow it. I am saying this morning. Old people said that code, and I'm saying it to you. I don't want to rehash a whole lot of what was said to you about my incarceration. Dr. Hines did a wonderful job last night. He brought all of the information to you as far as I know. I will add to that information. But understand this. No sooner had I gotten out of court yesterday, I got a call. Thank God the way I am. I was bailed for $200,000. Thank you, Senior Counsel Nigel Hughes. Not only did he step up and represented me, he immediately paid that bill, so I didn't have to waste time and wait on anybody to come and bring it. He said, I will pay the bill and we're going to deal with that. The bill was paid. I was in, I don't know what they call that, but a holding cell, because conditional to my bail was I had to submit my passport to the court. The court is now the custodian of my passport. Well, those of you who know me will know that ain't bother me. I don't travel travel. People had to literally beg me to go to the US to the last conference. So travel don't bother me. That's a small price to pay to be with my people. Very small price. So while waiting there, because my son had to go and get the passport, and so I was there waiting. Good? Not for 1 minute was I concerned about losing my freedom. What I was concerned about is you, the people who view this program, the people who support this program, the people who speak out against the PPP's injustice, not because you like Mr. Amsterdam, but because you recognize wrong as wrong. I was concerned about you not taking condign action, against your government, against oppression, against dictatorship, against bullyism, against state overreach. When the PPP does what it is doing and intends to do to the people who you look to for guidance and leadership and teachings. And I'm saying to you this morning, as soon as I left the court, after the passport was submitted, again, thankful to my son. He's always on the ball. I tell people that's my, maybe alter ego, that's my right-hand man. I don't tell him everything. I don't have to tell him everything. He understands the mission, if I call it that. I called him, I said, I need to get my passport. When he came with my passport on my phone. He said, I brought your phone. I know it's important. And I thank him for that, because I wasn't even thinking about phone. But as soon as I stepped out of the court, like I always do, if you call me and you don't get me, I will return that call. And I returned the call. I was told, Mr. Amsterdam, be careful. Be careful. You're out on bail. I know you're out on bail. But Anil Nandlal has instructed or is instructing, allegedly, the PPP to arrest Dion Abrams, David Hines. The person couldn't remember who the other person was on the program the night before, but that I understand was Takumo Gonsi. And yourself in the new week. They will attempt to arrest you, Mr. Amsterdam, for additional charges, and they will attempt to arrest the other three brothers because of some alleged statement that was made on the night's program. I am saying to you people, I am saying to you this morning that you have to be determined in your hearts and in your mind and in your body and your soul that if the PPP touches your leader, you're going to do something about it. Until such time that you have shown this dictatorship that you're not going to sit idly by and allow them to mash you down by first mashing your leaders, mashing your protectors, mashing your representatives. They will continue to push it. And I am saying to you, without any fear, no apologies, I am saying to you, if the PPP lays its hands on David Hines, Dion Abrams, Takumo Gonsi, and even Kidaki Amsterdam, you all take action. Please take action. Please walk down Regent Street and window shop. Please walk down Regent Street and window shop. I'm asking you for a simple favor. Do it in the name of demanding respect for yourselves and your representatives. Stop sitting back and waiting for the PNC to call a protest. Stop sitting back and wait for Aubrey Norton to call a protest. Stop sitting back and wait for Manza to call a protest or Wisdale Ford to call a protest. Because let me tell you something. From where I'm sitting, you ain't gonna get a protest. And I have no disrespect for any of these people that I called, nor the PNC or any organization that I will mention. I have no disrespect for them. But I'm saying, in your best interest, take action. Self-actualization. Empower yourself. Don't wait for people to empower you. I don't know. Let's say I want to see. But I am showing you, I'm prepared to fight for you. I'm prepared to lose my freedom for you. I'm prepared to lay my life on the line for you. And so I'm not intimidated by the PPP. I don't care how much jail Anil Nandlal could talk about. I don't care how many other charges they're going to bring. What I care about is that I will call injustice for injustice. I will stand in representation of my people. And I'm saying to you, my people, who indicate to this dictatorship that you will not stand idly by, they're going to continue to push the envelope. And before you catch yourself, the very people you're waiting on to lead you will disappear because the PPP will destroy them. And you will have to stand on your own for yourself. So start standing while you have others backing you with representation. Start standing. Apartheid wasn't toppled in South Africa because the black people say they got Nelson Mandela incarcerated for many years They have killed so many of our leaders. And so we have to be careful and we have to be fearful. Apartheid was toppled because those who remained alive and free from incarceration took action. They took action. I always say one of my heroes in the whole of life and political history would remain Winnie Mandela. I have her at the top of the list because she did what she had to do. When she found people among her that were being treacherous, she did what she had to do. They did what they had to do. I am saying to you, my people, that you must be prepared to do what you have to do in defense of not only your leaders, we are only singular people, you know. But for the PPP, we are maybe the brain of the operation. And so if you could kill the brain of the operation, you could kill the operation. Let each and every one of us become a brain. And that is why I am so happy that Mark and David Hines stepped in and they ensured that BUXTONIAN Guyanese Morning Time was not off the air for 1 minute with my incarceration. Don't give the PPP that strength. As a matter of fact, show them that you're going to stand and you're going to push back as hard as is necessary for them to back off. That's my encouragement to you this morning. Let me tell you this. I want to know what happened with my arrest. As everybody says, small things. Guys, hear me. I'm still me. I am stronger. I will tell you I am stronger and I'm more determined to see the backs of the PPP. The work continues. I've been encouraged, be careful, be more vigilant. Yes. I've always said, I'm not afraid, but I'm not stupid. The work continues. I have to be more careful. But how can you be careful against the police state? The police has the authority to come and knock at the gate and arrest you. How can you be more careful? I can be careful with what I eat, where I eat, who I eat from. But when an agency of the state that is authorized by the laws of the country comes to your gate and knock, what do you do to repel them? They come under legal order, according to them. They knocked on my gate. They said, Mr. Amsterdam, we have a warrant for your arrest. As some of you saw in the video, I inquired who they were by name and rank. I inquired why they were there. They said they came to arrest me in relation to cybercrime. That's all they will say, cybercrime. Who are you? They gave me names and numbers and ranks. I offered to go with my lawyer. They said, we must arrest you. We have an arrest warrant for you. I'm a law-abiding citizen. I ain't murder nobody. I ain't rape nobody. I ain't thief nothing from nobody. Not even the nation's coffers. And so what did I do? I opened my gate. I allowed them to arrest me without seeing the arrest warrant. I asked them to read the arrest warrant or show it to me. Nothing was read to me. Nothing was shown to me. They claimed they had a search warrant. I said, for what address? What address is on your search warrant? They couldn't tell me the address that the warrant permits them to search. I haven't seen the warrant. I haven't heard a line read from the warrant. Even as I'm sitting here, I'm telling you. Lo and behold, when I got to CID headquarters and I insisted on seeing the warrant, I was told, we never had a warrant for your arrest. The police has the power of arrest. We never had to get a warrant for your arrest, or we don't need a warrant for your arrest. But they arrested me, claiming that they had a warrant for my arrest. They walked in this place and they searched and they videoed illegally, because I have not seen a search warrant, much less a search warrant that bears the address of this place. And that's the state authority that is supposed to uphold the laws of this country, serve and protect, as they say. Behaving lawlessly, unconstitutionally, how do I, or how can I be more careful with them? I can't push them out my yard. I ain't a gunman, so I can't shoot nobody. I followed what I consider legal instructions. The state must answer for the misbehavior of the police. And the police must answer for empowering the state to misbehave. Because the ranks of the Ghana Police Force and any law enforcement agency are protected by the laws of Ghana. And they ought not to be taking unconstitutional instructions from anybody. But that is the state we're in. And any state like that is a dictatorship, where a politician can instruct a constitutional officer of what to do. And that constitutional officer gets it done because he or she is afraid that if they don't get it done, heads will roll. Now, let me say this to you. I pray for the day of reckoning, when a lot of you who are taking unconstitutional instructions will be made to answer for you. I pray for that day. The CID rank that slapped me at the back of my head Wednesday morning, I pray for the day when you will be made answerable for it. Senior Officer of Guyana Police Force, D-Lo, I pray for the day you will answer for that illegal instruction given to your officers, to your ranks, to bodily throw me in the back of a pickup. I pray for the day, and I know that day will come. Guyanese have to be prepared to hold these people responsible and make them pay for their deeds. The law is there for all of us. They say the same stick that has beat black dog, the same stick that's lick white one. And I am praying for the day when the stick finds itself in another hand. I'm not living in fear. I can't daunt my spirit. What I want is for my people to be as determined as I am to hold you all accountable. And then you're going to see how the table's going to turn. We have a warrant for your arrest. We have a warrant to search. None of the warrants can be presented. The police took me to CID headquarters. Who's calling and why? Hello, how may I help? Good morning. Yes, it is. It's not a calling time though. Is that you calling to be on the program? Listen, I'll open up the lines, but the lines are not open yet. Let me stay on this start. Good. Follow the program. Yeah. I was taken to CID headquarters. I was asked questions. without my lawyer. Since I'm here, I'm saying, let me contact my lawyer, let me contact my lawyer, let me get my lawyer. Anyhow, they booked me, as they say, with my name, because that's all I was willing to provide for them. As a matter of fact, I didn't even provide it because my answer was, since you have a warrant for my arrest, you must know my name. So don't ask me my name. My age is not of importance to you. Since you have a warrant for my arrest, you must know my address. Don't ask me my address. And so for those who are wondering, I really didn't provide any information to the police. After taking me to CID and booking me, they were transporting me or transferring me to Randveld lockups. When we stepped out the door, Attorney Nigel Hughes was there with Dr. David Hines and one of his colleagues' lawyer. He insisted that he is there to represent me and he wants to know what the allegations are. And they couldn't tell him, except cybercrime. Except cybercrime. If I remember the sequence of events clearly, not until was I transferred to Randveld and the questions were asked again, were we told that there are allegations of me making false statements, disseminating false information using a computer system. Yeah, that's the description. Contrary to the Cybercrime Act or whatever. That is what I was told. I was kept at Randveld for several hours in the juvenile cell. The juvenile cell is the first cell apparently when you go in there. And because they knew that the CID was going to come back for me at some point in time in the day, they granted me, I would say, temporary stay in the juvenile cell. Around 5 in the afternoon, I was transported back to CID. They attempted to question me, interrogate me, and my position was the same. Not without my attorney. Not without my attorney. Eventually, my attorneys were summoned. They turned up. I want to tell you an aside here. If you are arrested and taken to police station, I always heard that you had the right to one phone call. In this day and age, where mobile phones are the thing of the day, mobile phones are business instruments. The Guyana Police Force tells you that you can only call a landline. You can only call a landline. You will not get a call to a mobile number from the average police station in this country because you can only call a landline. In this day and age, where mobile phones are the thing of the time, and very few persons have time for a land phone. After working hours especially, who calls a land phone at an office to get their lawyer? Let me just note that. It is one of the ways designed to frustrate people in this country and to infringe on their rights. Because those who don't know their right and those who are not strong enough to stand for their rights get railroaded by the Guyana Police Force every single day. I've heard of it. I've seen it firsthand. That is why I say to people, even now, my incarceration was more a blessing than a curse. It was a blessing for me more than a curse. It was a blessing for you more than a curse, because you're going to learn things about the Guyana Police Force and the quote-unquote penal system of this country that perhaps you never knew before, or you knew but you never had the first-hand experience of. So please call my attorney. You got a land number for he? No. We can't make no call. I can't talk. I can't talk. And we went on like that until somebody decided to call and get a cell phone number to make contact with the attorney. So we're going to do a video interview. The police is going to interview you now. Major crime is going to interview you now. And what did we learn? Mr. Amsterdam, you were arrested because somewhere around the 27th of March, I think, somebody called into your program and said, they got 4 people who are the problems in this country. And so until we get ahead of Anil, I don't know which Anil they were talking about. Ali, I don't know which Ali they were talking about. Jagdio, I don't know which Jagdio they were talking about. And Ashni, I don't know which Ashni the person was talking about. And put them on the seawall. Immediately after which I said, I do not condone violence. I do not condone violence. While I agree that it might be necessary to get some people to see the backs of some politicians, both from the opposition and the government, I want you guys to go and look at that video again. I want you to go and look at that video and play it so you get context and you understand where I went in terms of my explanation, or if you want to call it a response to that call. The police chose just to play, or just to zero in, just to focus on this caller who I don't know, who I don't pay his phone bill, who I might only be acquainted with by voice. They only chose to play those select words and hold me accountable for it. Me, Kidaki Amsterdam. Because it's my platform. According to them, it's my Facebook page. It's my phone number. So I facilitate a threat on the life of, according to them, the president, vice president, attorney general, and finance minister. Nowhere in that discourse did the caller say or identify anybody by office or by their government name. Because if you identify me by my government name, I will be called Kidaki Amsterdam. Not just Kidaki, there are millions of Kidaki, I hope. Not just Nigel, there are millions of Nigel. But yes, they can log on to this one snippet of a phone call where a person is addressing people by one name and get into his head and know he was talking about president and vice president and so on and so forth. It doesn't matter for the courts to determine. It doesn't matter for anybody else to determine. But the Ghana police force refused to even consider the fact, even look at the fact, even in their accusations, play the aspect of the call or the program where I started by saying, I do not condone violence. In short, the Ghana police force chose to cut and paste information to charge me. I think they're guilty of a cybercrime. To misrepresent what went on in the program. I think that's a cybercrime. So when they were interviewing me, that is when I learned that this is why I have been arrested on a fictitious arrest warrant, an arrest warrant which never existed. This is why I was arrested. I believe I was kidnapped. I was lured out of the safety of where I was and taken into custody, etc. But guess what? If you wanted to know or get more reason why this thing is political, whoops, there's another allegation that I use a computer system to disseminate the information, knowing it to be false and causing this and that and the other and the next, against a man named Arafat. As a matter of fact, the name they quoted is Mohammed. Yes, Mohammed Arafat Calendar. Mohammed Arafat Calendar. That's all they said to me. I don't know the details of that allegation. It has not yet come up to court, which means apparently I have not yet been charged as they promised to charge. So when I'm seeing reports in the media that there are 40 charges to be laid, maybe that is one. Now let me say this to you. I was sued by a man bearing similar name, if not the same name, in relation to similar sentiments. And so there's a civil matter, a lawsuit before the High Court right now, with a man bearing those names as the complainant. I told you, or when I went to court for that matter, and Justice Navindra Singh heard an application for an extension to file a response. And by his rulings throughout that application, therefore making it appear as though I didn't respond. And if you were to go and check Jack Deal's press conference of that Thursday, you will hear him say that I did not respond, I failed to respond, and so they were going to go to default judgment. My lawyers fought that decision and won. And so our response was filed. He had awarded $20,000 cost. They refused to rescind that $20,000 cost award. But at the end of the day, the defense was filed. I guess the matter is now sitting there waiting for date or whatever for commencement. So that matter did not succeed, at least up until now, to get me to shut up. And they want me to shut up bad. So, okay, a faster route is by charging him criminally. Let's charge him. Using the Cybercrime Act, let's charge him criminally for this allegation. That was the next charge that I was expecting. But as fate would have it, I understand that you have to take several steps back. Because you can't charge a man criminally and civilly at the same time. That's my understanding. So you see in the hand of politics all along in my arrest. And let me not tell you the string of political instruction that had to be coming down as to how to handle me. Because you see the evidence. It's right there. No policeman can make a policing decision without sending a text message or stepping out to make a call. That is what was happening all throughout this ordeal, if you call it that. And so that is the end of politics to you. You hear it from the utterances of Jagdeo and Nandlal. You read it from the newspaper comments. All they're interested in is getting Mr. Amsterdam incarcerated to shut him up. All they want is to make Amsterdam a political prisoner like they did Mark Benschop. If you don't see it on the line, read between the lines. Will you stand up? Will you sit by? Will you stand by and allow it to happen? Will you allow it to happen to Kidaki Amsterdam, David Hines, Takumo Ogonse, or any one of your community and political leaders? As we say, once bitten, twice shy. You all have to decide that when they lay hands on your representatives, you are going to resist. You are going to say, beyond the shadow of a doubt, we will not condone this nonsense for one more minute. Don't be coward. Don't be cowardly. Don't allow them to intimidate you, because I'm not allowing them to intimidate me. So, let's punish this man before we find him guilty or not. Let's punish this man before the time for punishment. Henry Green, they said the decent thing to say is, may God rest his soul. Note me. God rest his soul. Said to me some years ago, when my brother was murdered, you just name the man who you believe did. We will ensure he's locked away. By the time he could prove his innocence, you would already get satisfaction because he has been locked away for so long. That is the PPP modus operandi. You know who Henry Green was when it came to the PPP. And that is what the PPP intends to do with us. Lock us away so long that elections will come and go. You will be weakened as a people. You will be made timid and afraid because they mash up your leaders or your representatives. By the time we can prove our innocence in the court of law, elections would have come and gone, and they would have already torn you into slaves. That's their intention. Don't allow it. Don't make it happen. So, when I was returned to Rijnveld, after being interviewed at night on these allegations, I was placed in a different cell to the juvenile cell. You hear people talk about worst nightmare? In that cell, I saw what inhumanity is. I saw what inhumane treatment is. And I was taken to the cell. By the time I swung the corridor, the stench hit me. When I was brought to the door of the cell, I stopped back. I said, this is where you're putting me? That thing is not fit for a hug. The response was, there's a cell, mister. It's there, you gotta go. Let me describe it for you. Measurements, I think measurements were fair. Not a size room. There's evidence that there is supposed to be a section there for a bath in that room. But where the prisoner is housed, there's a ablution area, the toilet bowl, as we like to say, because what they have there is a toilet bowl, and I understand that the flushing mechanism might be outside. It's a design to prevent the prisoner using instruments from the mechanism, the cistern and so on, to either cause injury to his or herself or others, or makeshift weapons to escape, etc. Brothers and sisters, everything was overflowing from that toilet bowl. Everything. Toilet tissue, excrement, as in feces and urine, everything was overflowing from that toilet bowl onto the floor. And prisoners, incarcerated, detainees, me, Kidaki Amsterdam, was expected to spend, in my head, 72 hours in there. I don't know if it is out of the goodness of their hearts or if it is standard practice. The inquiries rank said to another police, see if they got carried, go to the back there and give peace. So the cardboard on the filthy floor was expected to be my mattress for my length of stay. That is what you call inhumanity. That is what you call dehumanization. I sat there and I could have imagined the way our ancestors captured and housed before transporting them across the Atlantic Ocean to these parts. And said, you know what? If my ancestors survived this, I can survive it too. In the name of fighting for us, I will survive it. I have to survive it. And so I enjoyed by standing at the door, the grill, to catch a whiff of what some people describe as fresh air, because there was nothing fresh about it. And so if you think that was bad, because everything was overflowing everywhere and so on, they eventually transported me to Isla Penitence lockups. Somebody asked me yesterday, Isla Penitence? They removed them women from there. It's not that they used to lock up women, I don't know. Because I quite frankly, I've not been in the penal system. I've not committed a crime. And so Isla Penitence, in a space that is less than 50 square foot. Hear me? Less than 50 square foot, or approximately 50 square foot. Based on my measurement, the room must measure 7 by 8. No, 7 by 7. 49 square foot. 5 of us were housed there. 5. When they brought the 6th one, they took out one to put in the 6th one, so we remained 5. Can you imagine 5 adults sleeping in a space that is less than 49 square foot? Think about it. I mean a minute. I need a minute. We're going to go a little extra this morning. Don't worry yourself. You'll have your say. But you have to have your say from a point of knowing. Yes. 5 grown men in a cell that ordinarily should be housing 1 person. That's where they had me. Again, the toilet bowl saga. This time it's flushed from the outside. It's not as filthy as it is on the other side, but filthy nevertheless. Can you imagine if you wanted to urinate, you have to urinate in the presence of your cellmates? Not so bad, man. If you wanted to defecate, you had to do it in the presence of your Cellmates, are you understanding the abuse, the degradation, the dehumanization that was taking place there? 5 big men have for shit in the presence of each other if they want shit. Piss in the presence of each other if they want piss. Lie down, I don't know, if it's shoulder to shoulder, back to back, belly to belly, on top of each other to fit in a space that is less than 50 square foot if they want to sleep. Can you imagine that if you wanted to sleep or sit, you are doing it on bare concrete? You have to sit or lie on bare concrete. 72 hours. Imagine sitting or lying on bare concrete for 72 hours. Can you imagine the damage to your health? That is what I endured. That is what I experienced. But will it daunt my spirit? Has it daunted my spirit? No. Because if we don't fight, if I don't fight, it will be many times worse than that. And so, and I'm saying it again. I'm not afraid of jail, if that's what you think you can threaten me with. But I know you are afraid of the wrath of the people. Because they can take away the power which you believe you have. And then you will be made answerable for your sins. And that is what I'm interested in. The people taking away the power that the PPP believes it has and is misusing, and let us make them answerable for their sins. I don't need to tell you, or did I mention that I was assaulted by police ranks Guimond, Corporal Guimond, and others at the instruction of Senior Officer D. Low, whoever he is. I will find out. I will know what the D for, and I will get the correct rank. And I have the names of some of the officers that assaulted me, simply because I raised concerns for my safety. And so long as my lawyer agrees, we will test that in the courts of law. Does the police have the right to put an arrested person in the back of a pickup to transport them, shackled and all? Are there safety measures in the back of a pickup? Is it legal to transport people in the back of a pickup according to the laws of Guyana? We will test it. We will test it. And so if the PPP has brought me to the fight, I will fight. We will fight. I'm encouraging you, let us fight. And so I was manhandled, bodily dashed into the back of a pickup to be transported from Rhineville to La Penitence. Well, you all know Kidaki, Amsterdam. I'd rather go down dying for my rights. I'd rather go down dying for my rights. And so I was assaulted. A CID rank boxed me at the back of my head by my father. Get sense. The day will come, and I'm using sir loosely. I hope when you will get sense. From my understanding, let me don't tell you my understanding yet. 72 hours. Human beings are kept locked up in those inhumane conditions I mentioned to you. Not granted the permission nor the opportunity to have one single bath. Not granted the opportunity or permission to have a single change of clothing. And so when they have you in this stench, in this cell that is overflowing with feces and urine and everything else, and your only contact of sleeping is on the very concrete where everything is overflowing to, your clothing becomes contaminated, your body becomes contaminated with all the fumes and so on. And so when you're supposed to be transported in the safety of the cabin of the vehicle that comes to transport you, the privileged policemen, the privileged ranks of the Guyana police force don't want you in that cabin because they will have to endure that stench that is emanating from your clothing and your body. They have a right to fresh air in the interior of a vehicle. But where you are incarcerated, in this instance, for 72 hours, you don't have a right to fresh air. You don't have a right to fresh clothing. You don't have a right to bath. Apparently, you don't even have a right to a meal, because I've been there and I've seen, unless a relative brought a meal for those who are incarcerated, you're dead unless a cellmate gives you something to eat. At Isla Penitence, I've heard one of the incarcerated persons ask the sergeant on no less than 3 occasions, "Wham, people they ain't lock up all the time. They ain't get none to eat. Y'all ain't gonna feed we?" And on those very occasions, I heard the sergeant say, "We gonna get some dinner coming for you just now. You want food, you want food, you want food." I left there yesterday at minutes to 10 or just after 10. When they came to transport me to court. And the dinner that was asked for the day previous was not served yet. And so not only is the inhumanity taking place there in terms of the condition where they're incarcerating you, where they're holding you, but you don't get to bathe, you don't get to change clothing, and you don't get to eat because they won't feed you. That is democratic Guyana for you. If you want to see democracy anywhere there, I wish you luck. I know what a dictatorship is. I know what a dictatorship looks like. And I'm saying quite clearly, with no apologies, this is a dictatorship that we're living under. And until we are prepared to fight it, and fight it to the end, we will not fare any better. We will not fare any better. And so for 72 hours, as a matter of fact, once I recognized the situation, when my son came Tuesday evening, he brought me some food, brought me, well, he knows what I like. I can't tell you what is my go-to meal. Those who are closest to me will know what is my go-to meal. So he brought me my go-to meal. And of course, water. And I said to him, "Let this be the last time you bring me solid food. Bring me water. Bring me water. Because if I eat solid food, I will be required to shit." Excuse the extreme language if you find it extreme, but I'm telling you how I communicated with my son, because I wanted him to understand the gravity of the situation. If you bring me solid meals, I will have to shit. There is no place to shit as a human being in this place. And so from Tuesday evening, I survived on water. Every time he came, in fact, I told him the next morning, "Bring me some water with lemon and ginger." And when it came, a police rank brought it to me. And I refused it. I said, "I don't want it. Once you bring it, I don't want it." "Yes, your son bring it." I said, "My son must have brought it to the desk, but once you bring it to me, I don't want it." I'm saying that to say to you, I won't be a victim of poisoning. I've seen many people incarcerated by the state and end up dead from poisoning. I've heard of second-hand accounts of attempts to poison Mark Bishop on several occasions. Maybe he can confirm or deny them. But unless I was seeing who brought my food and I saw it coming from who brought it to me, I wasn't interested in eating it or even drinking the water that came that morning. I know my son must have been disappointed to know that he bought it and then I say, I don't want it. Once this man bring it. But we'll have that conversation. You understand why. And so that was my daily diet. Water brought by my son. And then I requested coconut water brought by my son. And so at La Penitence, I was in a position where I could peep and see. Once he called, what happened to my stuff. And that I survived on. Give God thanks. But the people who wanted food, which the state, I think, has an obligation to provide, weren't getting any. They weren't getting any. So the disregard for the human right to even sleep and dwell in a decent place, even though you are incarcerated, as we like to say, guests of the state, there's total disregard for that. And these people believe that they have a right to govern this nation the way they govern it. I was in the same cell with a young man that was beaten, he said, for 2 days by CID ranks to admit to a crime that he claims he has no knowledge of. Whether or not he has knowledge of, I am not interested in that. I am interested in the abuse, the disregard for human rights that I witnessed there. Beaten. He said he got blacked out about 9 times over the 2 days. Choking and blacking out for about 9 times over the 2 days. People are going to ask him how he know he got blacked out 9 times. Because every time he catch himself, he realize, I just wake up from a blackout by. Hand around my neck. A coughing and choking. People beat him on my knees. People beat him on my elbows. People beat him on my wrists. People slap him into my eye. People box me on my left side ears. My left side ear, it ring. I'm lying in the cell and I can't hear anything. This is a young man's story. He's right there in the cell with me, so I'm seeing the evidence of the beating. Bruised and battered kneecaps. Gouges and scratches around the wrist. Left side here oozing. I think it was his left side eye fat up, as we like to say, can't open. And when they brought him to La Penitence, and they were booking him in, and he gave a statement to the inquiries rank or whatever they call him, that I was beaten by the CID ranks in the last 2 days to confess to a crime I know nothing about. The CID ranks sat there and watched him and said, "By you lying for we beat you? We beat you by?" And from then until just about a few minutes before I was transported to court. In fact, I was transported to court and the young man was still at La Penitence police station. From the time he came in, he was asking, "Can I get a call to my lawyer? I need my lawyer to come so I can go and get medical attention for these injuries from this beating. Can I get a call to my lawyer? I need my lawyer and I need medical attention for these injuries." The first offer to get the EMT to come to the station and check his injuries out was about 7 o'clock yesterday morning. Was about 7 o'clock yesterday morning. The first sign of a vehicle to transport him to the hospital to get medical examination was at minutes to 10 when I was being transported out of Isla Penitence lockups to go to court. It's frightening. It's terrible that I had to be arrested for these trumped-up charges, these politically motivated charges. But I'm saying to you, my brothers and sisters, I am grateful for the experience of having seen firsthand what happens to our people in this country. Usually when you hear a quote-unquote criminal make certain complaints, a lot of us like to jump to judgment and say they must lie. They're a criminal. Criminals have rights too. Incarcerated people have rights too. They have human rights to start with. They have constitutional rights. Like I asked the officer, say, but you can't tell people where you are going to use a prisoner. Prisoners don't have rights in this country. Those are some of the things I want to share with you. David Hines has told you the story of me being taken to court without the knowledge of my lawyer. I heard him tell you it. The intention was for me to go to court without the lawyer. And the magistrate that, I guess they were hoping that they had a magistrate that was as arrogant as the government. They say, oh, are you there to come to this court without a lawyer? You're remanded until such time and get a lawyer for your next appearance. Because that is what I see happening in the courts many times. I guess that is what they were hoping for. Good morning, Magistrate Faith Magusti. I think that's the name. A fine example of what justice should look like. Justice should not be blind. And so she insisted. Or rather, she asked kindly, can somebody assist Mr. Amsterdam to get a call to his lawyer so that we can get this matter dealt with? Thank you, Magistrate Faith Magusti. And so, yes, that call was made. Nigel Hughes came. Okay, I'll stop harassing me. I'm going to put it up. Yeah. Yes. That's the Cash App on Zelle. Good. Nigel Hughes came. Statements were made. Charges were read. Options were taken. Special Prosecutor Manuel Moore, I think is his name, opted for the matter to be tried in the magistrate's court. On the question of bail, he objected. Why did he object to me being bailed? Because the PPP's intention was to have me locked up. Locked up so that they can sand dance and skittle dazzle and keep me locked up for as long as it pleases their heart without trial. That was their intention. So there had to be an objection to bail. And even when the magistrate ruled that the objections were quite frivolous, in my mind, my word, quite frivolous. And so bail was set in the sum of $200,000. Can you imagine what $200,000 is for an ordinary working person in this society? A teacher earning $98,000 is 2 months plus salary for bail. But $200,000 is bail. Not only must you pay $200,000 cash bail, Mr. Amsterdam, but the special prosecutor means, on behalf of the PPP, that Mr. Amsterdam must feel pain, financial and emotional pain. So, Mr. Amsterdam, you have to report to the nearest police station if the special prosecutor had his way once every week. Despite the fact that, Mr. Amsterdam, you have to lodge your passport with the court. Say you can't travel out this country and go nowhere without us knowing. So lodge your passport, say you can't travel, and report to the police every week if I have my way to say that you're here. That is the abuse that was intended and is intended by the PPP. Make Mr. Amsterdam pay for standing up against us, even if he will not be found guilty of anything. Make him pay. So by the time the case concludes and the court determines his not guiltiness, we would have had our satisfaction according to the mantra of Henry Green. That is what was intended. In the eyes of Mandel Moore and the PPP, Kidaki Amsterdam should have been in a dirty, filthy cell overflowing with excrement this morning because he was remanded, waiting trial. But again, I'm thankful for fair-minded and just people like Magistrate Faith Magusti. Pretty name there, inspirational name, Faith. She has given me faith that they're decent people in the magistracy and even in society still. Y'all join her, be decent. All those of you who are at CID and police headquarters and Granville and all over, who condoning the wrongs of the PPP and who are mistreating the citizens of this country, take a page out of our book. I don't have all the time because I want callers to have this say. I will stop there with my story. I'm out on bail, $200,000. My passport is lodged with the court. I have to report to Vigilance Police Station once every 2 weeks on Mondays by 10 o'clock. So when you see Monday morning, I get up at 9 and say, this program done, I head into Vigilance at 10 o'clock. Mandel Moore wasn't satisfied with that I have to report to the police as requested. The nearest police station I should be reporting to Vigilance Police Station. Mandel Moore wanted me to report to CID headquarters. So $200,000 cash paying, let me call it that, is not enough for them. I must bear the cost of paying transportation to and from Georgetown. If Mandel Moore had his way twice a week, in fact, once every week, to report that I'm here and I'm awaiting for the pressure from them. But again, I'm thankful to Magistrate Faith Magusti. I will report to Vigilance Police Station every 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks, I will report. But I won't shut up. I will keep fighting. I will keep highlighting the wickedness and the ills of the PPP. And I'm asking you to join me. I was about to say this before I open the lines, and I need to say this before I open the lines. Not only do they want to shut me up, they want to shut you up because I provide a platform on which you can speak to them. I publish a WhatsApp number on which you can WhatsApp them and tell Priya that she is a jackass for the competition that she was promoting. They don't want you to have that freedom. And so that they're charging me because of what a caller said and what I disagreed with. They're saying to me that I must curtail the freedom that I give you on the program to speak.
And so I must now screen your calls. Or I must discontinue the calling segment. Well, I am saying to the PPP and their friends this morning, I will continue to take the calls of my people. I will continue to allow my people to express themselves. I will continue to guide and educate my people for as long as the Creator gives me life. And so the lines are opened. And my people, you have to be responsible in your utterances. But I will say this. I understand it was said by Anil on some program. It is alleged that he said, I have a responsibility to cut off people while they're talking. No, that is not my upbringing. That is not my training. I am an educator. And I know that if you want to educate somebody, you have to listen to their story, because you will be able to teach from hearing their story. And I will not cut anybody in the middle of what they're saying to me simply because the PPP doesn't like it. I will listen to them, and then I will guide them. I will educate them like I did that call in the morning. You can't have your cane. You can't have your pie and eat it. My people have a right to express themselves. They have a right to share their thoughts, because this country belongs to them too. And where I see they're going down the wrong road, I will educate them. And you will not get me to cut them in the middle of their calls because you don't like it. Corey Live, I hope we can hear you, because it's raining.
This morning, I'd like to ask a question of this price of food, servants of all the leadership of the PNC, right? They are lawyers. And I don't know if they have shown solidarity with you being locked out. One thing that the opposition lawyers, all the opposition lawyers, need to show their solidarity. This thing is not about money. This thing is that if one party benefits, everybody will benefit. You know what I'm saying? You are doing what you are supposed to do, right? And if you get a victory in the name of the opposition, we all will be benefited from that victory. So I'm saying that you need to come on board with no cause and not wins. You need to come on board when somebody who's trying to represent the opposition is being locked up. I can't see. I didn't hear nothing about Russell Ford. I didn't hear nothing about the Russell was here. Right? You need to come on board. And my young friend of mine, Bishop Nye, these days of people to take on board, and these days guys to take on big ideas. Leading the party and all those things. This is where you have to show solidarity. This is where solidarity should be shown, right? Secondly, I am asking the representatives of the probably the ABC countries to look and see what is going on in this country, right? Because, things like this causes civil disobedience in a country. And if civil disobedience comes about, everybody is tend to be upset about this. So I need them to come on board and see what is going on in our country, right? Thirdly, Mr. Flash. This is one for now. I didn't hear your name in the contribution section, boy. So, so we need to hear from you. Thank you very much. This is my contribution this morning.
Thank you. I want to say to that call, and I like you all see my face when I'm talking. Leave Flash alone. I don't know your name.
I don't know if you contribute. I don't stop you from calling and talking. I wouldn't do it to Flash or anybody else, regardless of if they contribute or not. As they say, leave Flash name out your mouth. Flash does what Flash wants to do and what he's expected to do. Well, not even expected. What he does is appreciated. Y'all stop attacking each other on frivolous matters. I've said it before, and I'm saying it again. I don't come here for the sake of money. Y'all don't make this program about money. Don't attack anybody for the sake of money. I know there's a defense fund in all of your consciences and so on. You know you would help if you contribute to that defense fund. I encourage you to contribute. But don't insult anybody or even attempt to do it, whether or not they contribute. Please, call your life.
Morning, Kadaki. Glad to have you back, brother. Let me tell people what locking up in a civilized society is like. I was locked up in Freeport, Bahamas, in the police station. The irony is, the air conditioner for that entire building, I was one of the people who was in charge of it. The cell, I told the guys, do not get locked up inside here because we oversize it and you're going to freeze your butt out. That morning when I was locked up in there, we were treated like humans. I was in there with drug dealers, murderers, thieves, and everything. And we were treated like humans. We were given Burger King. We were given meals until we got over to the court. So there's how people in civilized society deal with human beings. We weren't convicted. We were just locked up and they treat us like human beings. They talk to us properly. Good. That's my intro. But this here now, you know, thank God for Mr. Aubrey Norton. He might not be the best person, but he do what was required for someone who is fighting more than 99% of the parliamentarians that are there. The others, everybody, we know something about this opposition. They're good at writing letters, they're good at making statements, etc. None of them came out and made a statement. Roy Salford, everybody. None of them excepting Mr. Norton. What they're doing, calling Mr. Hines, get your hell out there and say something. I am sure if they had asked Mr. Hines to come on the show tonight with Ogunse and everybody else, Mr. Hines would have given them a piece. Mr. Hines would have given them a platform, but they're losing opportunities again. This was an opportunity to show real leadership. But what they're doing, satisfying their own egos and fighting for power. And everybody's calling for protests, and we could see none of them are ready to pull nobody to the streets. They ain't ready. And I said to Dr. Hines, it's either they're coward or selfish. But I think it's a mix of both. Mr. Kadaki, who fights for people, and I said this to Dr. Hines, and Kadaki, I think I said it to you. I know that if ever, whoever here in the diaspora come home there and arrested, we know who's going to come out there and fight for us. Not the leaders in the opposition. They're just fighting for power. And that is dangerous what they're doing. Instead of coming and joining solidarity for a man who fights every single day without a cent, they just sit back there and calling Dr. Hines. Calling Dr. Hines for what? Come out, make statement, you got your own platform, come out. One of them, he chose the same day when you were arrested to show his new profile picture. What nonsense is that? This is not the time for that. This is the time to fight for a brother. But I wish them luck, because they will come. Remember Christopher Jones, when you were locked up, everybody was out there fighting for you. Where were you to fight for this brother? Where were you? The selfishness of our people. That's all I have to say.
Thank you for your call. Call your life. Call your life.
Carry out the struggle for us, my brother. It is so good to carry out the struggle for us. And I would like to share my peace by calling on our black brothers and sisters in the profession to open our eyes. I would like to call on. This is something that we want to do in like a kind of arrogant way, but I think it's time we should take the time out to call on people like Mr. Juan Ejel, Kwame Mackay, Onage Waljon, and the black police officers, male and female, to open the eyes and see that this thing is more than the work they have done. The PPP is out to keep us black people down. And all the Indian brothers and sisters, the right-minded ones, you understand? Let's stand up against, because this thing could be a whole big mess for all of us. We could suffer in this thing just for a few of racist, greedy men like Anil Nandalal, Bharat Jagdeo, Irfan Ali, and all who stay like them. I would like to call on those in the police force, especially the Afro-Guyanese police men and women. Let us open our eyes and see what these people is going on with. These people, all the infaris are divided and rule system. I listen to when the congressman come and be in mock-up, and some of the residents that the PPP buy out, put a car or put some money in the hand, speaking so much of lies and ills on their own people, stand up there blatantly and speaking those kind of things. It is real sad. It was real sad to see things like that going on. You could see the discomfort in Kwame Mackay's face when the congressman say that we're going to do this thing as a family, like we were in a kitchen. You don't want to hear something like that. All because he got to sing for something, because none, to my knowledge, none of those Afro-Guyanese politicians in the PPP, you understand? They're just there just to show up and make the PPP look like it's like they're balanced when it comes to ethnicity. Gone are the days of the PPP of Chedi Jagan. Gone are those days, my brother. You understand? So I'm asking Mr. Juan Ejel, you Tad, y'all open y'all eyes. Nobody said that y'all should choose a party that y'all like, but open y'all eyes and see the kind of use that Anil Nandalal and Barajangio, them using y'all don't have a vice in the PPP. The only vice y'all get is going to come to tear down the people that look y'all, Mr. Mark Phillips. Y'all get conscious on these people carrying this thing to a distance where in the end we gonna sit back, or some we gonna gone, and we children, we Afro-Guyanese children, and even some of the children of other ethnicity of the when the parents and them choose to stand up against the injustice, they're going to feel it. You feel this. Gagdio and all them, they got it when that they are very evil and wicked. Y'all open y'all eyes. Thank you for this space, my brother.
Thank you for the call. Let me say this. I have a bill receipt from Mr. Morgan. Big up yourself, Alpha. I never checked the date, but I can tell it's more than a year now. They accused Mr. Morgan of cybercrime. He was placed on $100,000 bail. I remember going out in the middle of the night to get him bailed. I still have the receipt because they have not been able to take him to court on one single charge. And all they had him doing for that period of time is report to the police station once a week. That is the abuse of the system. Report to the police station once a week. It costs transportation, it costs emotion, it costs a whole lot of psychological damage. Next to me, it ties up your resources. That's the wickedness of these people. Call your life.
Good morning, Mr. Amsterdam and listeners. Mr. Amsterdam, I just want to make a little comparison on your arrest, okay? the person that calling on your show and say whatever they said, right? It not compares to where the Indian lady said at the market when someone was videoing or said that the president need to be assassinated. When I hope they're listening, the president need to be assassinated. And then when the guy asked her, "What you said?" She said the president need to be assassinated. They don't put her, they put her through this thing is very racial, you know. And I get very emotional. I see, I home and I watching all this. I'm not a politician, but I see the Indian people really pushing black people now, you know. They're pushing us a lot. They're pushing us a long time now, all right? You had another guy coming on social media and saying he was fighting every black man. Did you see the dude to him what they did to you? And this lady would say plain and clear that the president needs to be assassinated. Another thing with the police. I hope the police see what they're doing to the citizens because in 2002 and 2004, it was people in the streets targeting police because of what the government had them doing. And I hope they don't make it go back to that again, all right? That the citizens and whoever have to target police when they're going home in the farm or in the civil clothes, I hope it's not what they're looking to push back again, come back all again, you know. All right, but like I said, the PPP, all of them is racial. And what I see they're doing is doing this is the cartels to push us out there, to blood run. I hope it sees that it's real, you know. And when the blood starts running, it says the PNC. That's my take, okay?
Thank you. Call your life. Call your life.
Yeah, good morning. Welcome back to your program, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Hello? Yeah, quick question. The opposition members, which the caller said did not come out to support you. I guess they have a conscience. I find that they realize that supporting a wrong doesn't do good for them, because you should not have been in this situation if you had cut off that caller.
Guess what? I don't want to be in that situation. I just cut off that caller. There's a difference between a caller calling to express a thought and a caller calling to be a jackass. I think this was the jackass in the morning. Y'all think I didn't recognize the jackass, bro? I recognized it from the inception. Only y'all asking why you don't cut him out off? Because I wanted him to break. Call your life.
Yeah, good morning, Kadaki, and welcome back. I'm glad that you're here with us to host your show. Somebody was trying to make contact with you. I think I gave them Dr. Hines' number. And
I did. Move on, please. I did.
Right. Okay, all right. Now, for people out there, this is the struggle. And as you went through what you passed through, I remembered what happened to me. And Kadaki, it was sad. And when you make up your mind to do things to people, we all have prices to pay. And people should be thankful for whatever we try to do for them, because we may even lose our lives doing things for the good of others. So we know what you went through. We know what is ahead of us. And we as callers, we must know what we're saying. And when it comes to the caller that caused the whole thing, but this claim caused the whole thing, when a man so called them intellectually lazy, she was right. Because if those things read the story with Alice in Wonderland, when something happened and the people in the thing were saying, off with our head, they were speaking about the Queen. The Queen calling those people and jail them in the most inhumane way. People got a way of saying things, just a figurative speech, and people just take it in. But when You're speaking the truth. Things that they continue to do against humanity in Guyana, all the different, whether it is sexual, contemptual, or whatever, humanity. Their own people, their own ministers would call out words like rape, and then rape will happen. And we would take it as just the person calling rape. But we didn't stop to study why the individual called rape. We later saw what the individual meant. So words got a way of coming out, and it isn't being interpreted in the right way. And because for the lack of knowledge, a nation would perish. It shows that many of them has that thing in front of them, doctor, and it shows quite clearly that they don't have the qualifications with. Imagine they went up, the same installed president openly called Dr. Heinz a joker, and as the earlier caller spoke of that woman who openly solicited people to assassinate President David Granger. It had another set of the people who tried to assassinate him. And when the matter went to the police thing, we all know who made up their mind. But you see, President Granger is not a Christian like me. Because if I like Victor Newman, he said, look, when you go for blood, you go for the jugular. And that President Granger asserted his authority as the president when somebody openly said they would have assassinated him and do what he had to do as the president. I don't think this now would have come up to try to dance to, but they want to close down the program because this is the only program where people could come in and give their views. Remember what they used to do to Sharma? But we will stand with you. In the days of Sharma, they didn't got $5,000 smartphone, but they got it now. And our phones, our laptops will be speaking truth to power, and you will be able to host the program. Thanks to Mark and Dr. Heinz, the program was not out the air. Bye-bye, we'll talk later. Bye-bye, Kadaki.
Thank you for your call.
Bye-bye. See you later, Kadaki.
Thank you for your call. I'm seeing foolish comments. I'm not going to respond to them. I don't have the energy. A lot of people are waste of oxygen. Call your life.
Hi, good morning. Kadaki, welcome back. Welcome back. Remember this. We will not give up. I stand in solidarity with you. And what you would have gone through, it's no different. And I understand that system very well. My point is that to the audience, we will not give up. We must stay united. We must unite on the issues that are affecting us and make our mark forward. Again, it is not what we see that affects us. It is how we interpret the situation we are looking at. And so it is imperative for our people to look and see that this situation that you went through a voyage that didn't make you weaker, but rather makes you stronger and stronger to the point where you are setting that example for many of us who on the back line think that if they stay quiet or just take a little bread or crumbs from what the corrupt PPP regime is offering, they'll be all bright and beautiful. But oh no, this is the time we must unite, stay together, because all of our destruction is in this unity. And so, brother, I stand in solidarity with you. You know exactly who I am. And guess what? We will continue the struggle. To the Guyanese people, the corrupt PPP regime is out or in desperation to seek any way that they can make us uneasy to the point that we retaliate foolishly. To every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. But nonetheless, we must not react foolishly. But at the end of the day, let that main and significant blow be in our index fingers and vote the corrupt people out of office. We must stay united and recognize that for us to grow, as well as Guyana to grow, we must remove the PPP from office by all means necessary. Thank you.
Thank you for your call. The lines remain open. Call your life.
Kadaki, good morning. Welcome back to the program. I don't have to call my name. You know who I am. They make you stronger. They cannot break you. They make you stronger. And we gonna continue stand with you. Whatever it be, we're gonna continue stand with you. They could bring how much charges they want against you. And Dr. Hines and Deanna Abrams, they could bring it on. We're gonna stand with y'all. And black people have to wake up in Guyana. Have to wake up and stop sitting down. The time is now. The time is now. What more they want to see? What more they want to see? I don't have much to see, but we're going to stand together. United we stand, and divided we fall. And we black people have to stand together to get the PPP out of power come next year. There is care. There is care of you, Kadaki, David Hines, Mark, Sharon Duncan, because you're always exposing every corner of them. And they do not like it. But you're going to continue the fight, and we're going to continue to stand with y'all. And come next year, they know that they're going to be out of power. That's what them is doing, all them is doing now. They're wicked and vindictive to black people, but the time is short. My brother, you have a good day, and continue the fight and be strong.
Thank you. Thank you, Wesley, for that cash app. Thank you, Leighton. Thank you for those cash apps. Call your live. Good morning.
A pleasant good morning to you, Mr. Kadaki, and welcome back. I assure you in good health. You have to drink some bitters and stuff like that to douche yourself out from the filthy cell. But coming to the point, I hope that the opposition see the tactics of the PPP. They want to remove you guys from the WPA so that we cannot get a coalition to get them out of office. And the plan is premature. We got to stay as one. As Carlos said earlier, these parliament people got to come out and voice the concern. We can see that the back is against the wall. And we got to hop in the game and prevent them from dancing the spirit. This program is a well-drafted program to edify the Guyanese people. And we have to keep up the fight and don't back down. Because if they're going to focus on this program so badly to get it out of the air, that can tell what is it that is haunting them so desperately to get you off. And we got to see and know what is going on. You continue the fight, and God will always bless you. We're here with you. And last thing, we supposed to boycott the businesses in Georgetown, because if the people them that getting our money not coming out and talk when the PPP is wrong, well, therefore they shouldn't have our money. And when the PPP focus on we, is now we they're supposed to focus on Venezuela, that is building bridge across our border and stuff like that. What they're trying to shut you up is petty. Continue good works, and God bless you, Mr. Kadaki.
Thank you for your call. I see an idiot is saying, imagine if the system has to provide meals for those who are incarcerated. $1,200 per meal. $1,200 per meal. $1,200 per meal is what, 60 US cents? Or $6 US. $6 US per meal for an incarcerated person. Note, it is not everybody who is incarcerated or detained, whatever you want to call it, that will need that meal. A proper survey of the system will tell how many persons need meal. Because when you book an arrested person in, at least I would rather suspect. You can ask if they expect anybody to take care of them, or the state has that responsibility. The state is arrested. The state must feed them. But while we are looking at feeding an incarcerated person, a detained person, for $6 US a day, perhaps, your ministers, the thieving cabal known as the PPP, they're stealing from this nation more than $6 million a day. There might be a minute. And in US currency. But these people come here to tell us that $1,200 Guyanese is too much to feed a prisoner, a detained person, an incarcerated person, whatever you want to describe that person as. In the country's penal system, it's too much. Y'all must be sick in your minds. So detained persons must go hungry. They must not be fed. They must be made to sleep on concrete. You see, there's a difference between punishing people for a crime. The prison system is supposed to be a correctional facility, at least so they call them, and willfully destroying people's lives. Can you imagine lying on concrete or even standing on concrete for 24 hours a day for 3 days, at least 72 hours? Do you know the impact of that cold concrete on your spine, on your joints? How it will affect your body organs, your bodily functions? Do you know that? Do you know the long-term damage that this wicked system is doing to the citizens of this country? I guess you don't know and you don't care. Because you could go and grovel at the feet of your comrades in Freedom House. And you could get even the crumbs, which is more than the ordinary man can get. And so you feel comfortable. I have this comment up on the screen, Sean West. You cannot put yourself at risk to support the people that cannot support your sacrifice for free. You are right, brother. You might be right. But must I lie down and watch my people suffer, our next generation suffer, because there are those among us who don't recognize the need to support a struggle that is for them? If I do that, then I'm just as guilty as they are. If I do that, then I'm not standing up for my children and their next generation. So regardless of who supports this struggle, so long as I think it is a just struggle, a just fight, I will fight that fight. The rest is on you people. The rest is on you. We are going to do about it. Caller, thank you for holding your life.
Yes, thank you for accepting the call. Good morning, Mr. Amsterdam, and good morning, everyone. Guyanese diaspora. Good morning, all Guyanese. I'm glad to see that you are out. Because, you know, sometimes we use the word free, and freedom ain't really free. What people call freedom in Guyana is under question. We need to look at the word freedom very differently for those lawyers, Pauline Chase, and the entire Bar Association. You see, freedom in the Constitution I spoke about last week. Just last week I spoke about freedom. And freedom has a qualification on it. You got freedom, and then you got people who need to enjoy the freedom. Right? If you have freedom, why you got to enjoy freedom? But the Constitution, Article 40, I think Article 49 or 47 last week talks about that with unions. And to see the freedom with the unions applies to Mr. Amsterdam, applies to me, applies to you in Guyana. How free is the freedom? See, and that's an issue that people in the constitutional reform need to tackle. And you know, it's for every knock there's a boost, and there is a blessing in every lesson. So this is bringing us full circle back to the point where we need to also be. That we need to look at how free we are, because I'm pretty sure that people in the United States are somewhat more freer than the people in Guyana. I think arguably we could say that. Because in the United States, for example, you've got a law that says Africans were made free under the 13th Amendment. So let's look at that. If we are free, then how it is that a police could come and pick me up? And this is the law, it's Pauline Chase. If we are free, how it is that the state could come and pick you up on what somebody may say, a simple accusation, and lock you up. And when your lawyer comes, they tell your lawyer, we're going to look for some information to see why he locked up. And not just you, Mr. Amsterdam. That's Guyanese across the board. I could go to remand now. And the majority of people in remand or majority of people in the lockups right now on 72 hours across Guyana are there because somebody said. Right? Someone said and they locked them up. Now, if you have freedom, how it is that someone could take that freedom away randomly, capriciously, haphazardly. I thought the Emancipation Proclamation got rid of that. You see, the absence of freedom is slavery. So for Pauline Chase and them need to look at the argument and the issue, are we free or are we enslaved persons in Guyana? Because the way in which the police force applies the application of the 72-hour lockdown, stop and detain is a new way to enslave Guyanese citizens. I want you to hear me good, Pauline Chase. The way it's being applied. So the operative word here is application and misapplication. If you use cigarettes as it's designed to be used, it could kill you. Yet cigarettes are legal. So the misapplication of some things which are legal are also unconstitutional and dangerous. So not because you may say, well, I'm doing my job, gives you some right to violate other laws retained in the Constitution. I'm saying 72-hour lockdown, stop and detain is unconstitutional. It's been unconstitutional for years. I've been saying it on this show. How many times have I called on this show and told us Article 72 is wrong? Not Article 72, correction. The 72-hour lockdown, stop and detain. You meet a man in the street, the whole bus
You driver, conductor, go to the station and sit down. Just so. Right. How many people on this show? I think Mingo, Myers, Calder Lawrence. 72 hours. When the lawyers went, they couldn't find them. Then you had to wait for a reason. Do you know that the habeas corpus, which means present the body, I think they had to use it for quite a few people because they can't find you. They couldn't find Mingo. I think they couldn't find some other people. I think they couldn't find Mr. Kadaki Amsterdam either. A few instances. You see, we have to understand that there needs to be laws, but there cannot be laws which are in a collision and in conflict with other laws retained by the people. The citizens have a right to be free, and if they have a right to be free, and we do have a right to be free under Emancipation Proclamation, then how the hell is it that police are now misapplying the procedures of stop and detain? Those violate our rights to be free people. So there can't be two laws existing at the same time. One telling you that you're free, and next thing the police will come, and he could tell you, you're going to lock up. We're going to lock you up, and we don't need no explanation. We don't have to have any evidence at this point. We got 72 hours. Well, in that 72 hours, you are a slave. And that's what I'm saying to Pauline Chase as the president of the Guyana Bar Association. Why do we think that the habeas corpus was brought into existence in the United States and around the world? Because the Queen or the British used to lock you up for 5 years, 6 years, 9 months without explanation. That's the reason behind the habeas corpus, because people had to say, where is he? Where is she? On what grounds do you lock them up? And the Queen said, or the King said, I don't need to have grounds, I'll just lock them up. So that's what the police are doing in Guyana in 2020, 2023, 2024, and the last 40 years. Stop you, detain you, lock you up. And that cannot be allowed to continue. I heard Comrade Norton spoke about it. I've been talking about it long. Why I got to wait until Kadaki get locked up again? So it brings me to the question. Why is it that certain illegalities are happening? And it seems to be the order of the day, whereby political persons throw their hands up and said, there's nothing we could do. Now, mind you, the opposition is doing work.
Follow what you think.
Yes. Yes, sir. The opposition is doing work. Granted, yes, they are doing work. But there seems to be an absence of work when there could be so much atrocities happening, and the opposition is unable to stop it yet. And I say Article 32 says we have the right to arrest political and any type of criminality. But we don't want to use Article 32. Once again, thank you for listening. And 72-hour detaining is unconstitutional. That's a message to Pauline Chase. Thank you, Mr. Amsterdam. Good.
Thank you for your call. Let me say this. 72-hour detention. Like I indicated, by 10 o'clock Tuesday night, the police was finished. CID was finished interviewing me. They could have granted me bail, station bail, albeit. But the officer in charge, there's an officer, I don't know if he is the guy they call Stevens, but I rather suspect he is Stevens. Stevens suggested to Coolen. Yes, Coolen is the policeman in blue. I have a video somewhere with them coming on the bridge. I'll play just now. Coolen, there's a layman who's here at arrest warrant for me. Might be a superintendent of police. This person who I believe to be Stevens said to him, I send in the report. When I finish sending the report, you could suggest to them that you put you on bail because you're the man in charge. You say me by? Me by? In other words, who am I to suggest to my political bosses that police work permits me to put this man on bail now? I will wait for my political instructions. Caller, please mute your mic. And so I'm saying when they were finished with me by 10 o'clock that night, they could have put me on bail until, let's say they wanted to go to court yesterday. Or they could have, even if they kept me incarcerated, detained, they could have taken me to court on Wednesday because they are done doing the interviews and whatever they wanted. But no, you dare to challenge this government. You dare to speak up against the ills of this society. And so go and stay in that filthy cell with everything overflowing and lie on that naked concrete so it can affect your health. So that even if we don't get the opportunity to incarcerate you, you would have already been punished. Have you ever been exposed to filth and fumes to the extent that they were burning your skin literally? That's what I was exposed to. But it's a sacrifice I'm prepared to make. I'm not going to be silenced. You've only strengthened me. Call it life.
Morning, Mr. Kadaki.
Call, you need to turn the device down in your background.
Morning, Mr. Kadaki.
Morning, caller.
Morning, all our family in the African society. I'm very sorry for your calamity. But all this is what happens when you fight for freedom, like in South Africa. Let me speak to the elite in this country. The elite Africans and the elite Indians. If I'm not hearing their voices, the elite in this country aren't saying anything because they tell themselves they are right. You know? But if the PPP continue down this line, if they continue down this line, they will put all our lives in jeopardy. If this thing blow up in our face, whether you be a magistrate, a judge, a liar, whosoever, administrator, whosoever, all of us would be consumed. And especially the AFC, I'm not hearing their voice as much. Who caused this thing upon us by Charandas? I'm not hearing their voice. If the voice is out there, I will apologize. Even the opposition, the members of all the opposition, their voice should be out there at this time. Everybody should have come out and sung their voice. How things can change in this country. The PPP are for Punjab, creating havoc in this country. You have Dum Dum. You have Salipintatong. You have Oyem. Umpty Dumpty. And you have Lamata. Creating havoc in this country. Or we can afford to go along this way. And I want to speak to Mr. Norton. He is bothering the Christian people. But when I make the revolutions clear to go there and keep your meeting, invoke that spirit, intellectual, not only to go with intellectuality, but you have to get spiritual support. They abandoned Coffee Square, gone to Parade Ground, where the white man conquer all the black man, put their head on sticks and stakes there. They conquer these people, and you go in there to keep the meeting and left Coffee Square, who never been conquered. They gotta go back there, and trust me, anytime they go back there, you see what happens.
those revolutionary states will support them and come back. I don't know what place is. Why will the Christian who say Bornham, that place is an opium place or some fat like that? They were with those Christian people. They're wearing a cross on their neck. They're getting cross in a church. And that was the cross where the white man killed black people, put them on stakes and burn them, and they still wear it on their neck and in their church. We got to come out of this foolishness and go back to the square of the revolution. You can't make anybody come from where they come from and tell you can't, don't go there and keep meeting. They don't understand spirituality. Thank you, Mr.
Thank you for your call. Yes, it's 9 hours 38. Wow, I did promise you some extra time. You had more than enough. It's time for me to go. I want to say a couple of things before I go though. Y'all don't mourn. Y'all don't be intimidated. Organize yourselves. You must take that stroll down Regent Street. We must go window shopping down Regent Street. We must confront the wickedness of this government by way of protest in different forms. One caller mentioned boycott. I want to get the name of the business right. There's a particular business on Regent Street and I would like us all to boycott. It's called Maize. I don't know if it is Maize Variety or Maize What or Maize the other. I know black people like go and buy it. It is called Maize. Do not spend your money at Maize on Regent Street. I will tell you why. Eventually, I'll tell you the whole story, but for now, I can tell you. It's a part of the quote-unquote empire of one of our persecutors. One of the tools that the PPP is using to attempt to shut me up is associated with Maize. I'm saying to your black people right now, and any supporter of this program, and any right-thinking Guyanese who believes that this government must be held accountable for their wrongdoings, and people are not to support those who are in bed with these wrongdoers. Don't spend your money at Maize. I don't care how nice things they got, because I always hear that. But they got nice things. I don't care how cheap they're cheap. Take one for the team. Take one for the struggle. Take one for the fight. Walk past Maize as if it doesn't exist. There are others that will be added to that list, I know for a fact. But one by one, brick by brick, we will build that list. I'm starting with Maize. And the principals and owners and investors and so on of Maize know themselves, and they know why I'm starting with them. You trust me? Trust my judgment. Thank you again for your support. Thank you again for contributing to the legal fund. Thank you again for contributing to the upkeep of CAMS TV. Thank you again for sharing the program. Even when we're finished here, you can still continue to share. Let people understand what is happening in this message. And I tell you this, on Monday, I can't tell you all that I've learned by being detained for those hours. But come Monday, I will tell you about the CID ranks that drive around in white vehicles, 2 or 3 of them, and demand maintenance from alleged criminals. I will tell you how much it takes to disappear a case jacket or an allegation of some crime or other. I will tell you how guns are being planted on our young people to turn them into criminals. I will tell you how policemen sit at police stations and plan how to make money at the station where they are. As a matter of fact, I'll tell you how policemen see their station as the coach. Come Monday, we'll continue those conversations. And you will understand the mess that this country is in. It's not only overflowing in the lockups. I think it's overflowing all across the land from where I stand. Have a good one. Much love. Be safe. The Cash App is $KAMSTV. The Zelle is 86237355187. Thank you to that person who insisted that I share this morning. Because like I usually say, when I come here, I don't remember that. But y'all have a good day. Continue to pray. Those of you who believe in prayers, continue to pray. But understand also, prayers without works is dead. So pray and put your shoulder to the wheel. We could take a stroll down Regent Street, praying and window shopping. The same God that you pray to didn't tell whoever he told to walk around the walls of Jericho, was it 40 times? Let us see Regent Street as our walls of Jericho. Let us walk around it. Singing and shouting and praying and window shopping. Have a good day. Much love. Thank you for your support. We're in this fight together, and I intend to stay in this fight with you.